What is this? Hello, it's me. My sister bought this wig. My sister bought this wig on Wish because she cut her hair. There's hair in my mouth. My sister bought this wig from Wish because she cut her hair short and she wants to have mermaid days, and I get it. I want to have mermaid days, and she felt like she needed a wig, but she didn't want to spend $1 million on a wig because honestly, who does? So she bought this wig on Wish, and she thought, man, this is a great price for a human hair wig. And it came in the mail, and she tried it on, and then she decided to give it to me to make over because it ain't working for her. It ain't working for anyone. Now, before we get into this makeover, we are going to transform not only this wig, we are going to transform me, because who doesn't love a good makeover story? Let's pray that I can do it because this is a lot to handle. If you want to join me and see how I'm going to transform this wig into something super sexy, then keep on watching. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start straightening this situation. I'm going to find where I want her parted, and I am going to straighten her because we need to see what we need to do with the cut, and the only way that I'm going to figure out what I want to do with the cut is after I straighten her. Yes. The type of iron that I'm going to be using on her is going to be a nano titanium iron because I find this is the best type of iron for controlling very unruly thick hair. This hair is actually quite dense and quite thick. I'm really surprised she got this for such an amazing price, but I'm going to be using my nano titanium Babyliss Pro iron, the Optima 3000, because I find that this is the iron that will tackle this type of hair really, really well and really easily. So I'm actually completely and totally, utterly impressed by the quality of this wig. I can't believe it was so inexpensive because the hair quality is incredible. I can tell because as I'm sliding the flat iron through it on a very, very high heat setting, I am at 465 right now. There is nothing melting in the plates. There isn't any type of a plasticky residue. So clearly this is human hair, and the human hair at that is really, really good quality. All right, so here at the front, it's getting a little bit tricky because the hair here is super short for whatever reason. So this is a part of the cheap wig, you know, this is the dead giveaway. See all of that super short hair right there? You see that? So it's wanting to stick up a ton. I think they're using this hair as filler hair to make the wig look dense without actually having to pay for it to be long. So the key is to get right up to that lace with lots of heat, as long as the wig can withhold the heat, and this one can, and slide slowly down to smooth it out as best you can. Now, as you can see, there is still tons sticking up. So you're gonna take your iron, you're gonna take the hot side of it, and you're gonna push it down into that lace front. We basically wanna tame it as best we can, but I'm also going to be using some product, and I'm gonna be plucking a lot of this hair out anyway, so we don't have to worry about it as much. All right, so now that we have her all straight, we need to start cutting her so that she looks more real. Now, don't get me wrong, we still want her to look like a mermaid stripper. That is the goal. But we need to make her look like a real mermaid stripper, not a wig mermaid stripper. So what I'm seeing in this is that we have no baseline. If you guys look here, it's a very hollow baseline. It starts to get really, really, really thin in the bottom, and this is often a problem with hair that's not double drawn. The thickness isn't the same from the top to the bottom. That is okay. She was cheap, we know. All we gotta do is cut her up until she is thick. So we're gonna have to lose about this much length. Now, something that's really important to do when you're cutting your wigs is to texturize the ends of them. Wigs can look really wiggy when they look too chunky at the bottom, so you want to make sure to angle your scissors up so they are vertical, and to cut into the hair and really texturize those ends and kind of wisp them out. Now what you can do is move on to the front sections. So this already has a little bit of layering, but not a lot. The only real way that I like to layer a wig is to slide cut it. If you are to lift the hair up and cut it like you would a normal layer on a normal person's head of hair, you can start ending up getting holes all over the haircut. You have to be really careful with that. So it's much easier just to cut your mannequin heads or your wigs by slide cutting the layers into them. This softens flattens the whole thing out and makes it look a lot more real. All right, so now let's work on plucking the lace. So a dead giveaway that a wig is when there is hair in the part line, because in your natural hair, you do not have hair in the part line. So what you're gonna wanna do is you are going to want to pluck all of those little hairs out of there to open up that part line and clean it up. And I want to pluck out all of the hair that's here in the front of the lace. All of this is just, you know, that's not hair that you would have around your hairline, and it looks fake. So we want to open that up a little bit by plucking out all of these guys. Don't be afraid to pluck hairs, you guys. If you don't pluck hairs, it's not gonna look real. If it's too hairy up at the front, if it's too hairy in the hairline, it's just not gonna look real. You really do need to create your own hairline when you buy a wig. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story about my experience with wigs, because I am such a wig lover, and a lot of people don't understand why and how I got into wigs and why I know so much about them. But when I was a lot younger, when I was like in my very early 20s, I went to Europe and I traveled through Europe. I was working as a makeup artist. I did some work on set and on different shoots, and I was noticing that at the time a lot of the models had this amazing platinum white undercut pixie hair that I was literally living for. And as a makeup artist, I was so creative and I was so with the times when it came to fashion. I just like loved being young. I loved experimenting and doing all of the makeup and the hair things. And so I decided when I was in Amsterdam that I wanted to have platinum blonde hair and I wanted it to be a pixie cut. So I went to a salon there and got them to bleach it out for me and to cut it super, super short. But the problem is that I have extremely dark hair, as you can see, and I also have extremely fine hair. You know, I have all these issues with alopecia. I have very fragile hair. So what would work on someone with stronger hair did not work on me. And what ended up happening is that my hair basically melted off. I think I got it bleached like 3 or 4 times because I really wanted it to be white, and it just completely melted off and turned into what almost looked like cotton. So I laugh because whenever I have clients in the salon that have melted off their own hair and they are so embarrassed, I'm always like, girl, I get it. So what I ended up doing was buying a wig on AliExpress because I was so young. I didn't have money to buy a nice wig. I bought a human hair wig on AliExpress and I wore it for 2 years while my hair was recovering. And during that time, that's when I actually met my husband and we started dating. So I got this message from a viewer on Instagram the other day that basically asked me, you know, what men think about me wearing wigs and how she's going through alopecia and wants to have a hair transplant, but she's also single and in the dating scene, and she's so scared to wear wigs because she doesn't know what men will think. So this is why I wanted to bring up this story, because I started dating my husband. I met him with a wig on and I started dating him with this wig on, and I really kind of fell for him. You know, I thought he was like super sexy and super awesome. And I mean, he's still my husband, so you know, he is super sexy and super awesome. But I always was convinced that he didn't know I had a wig on. So I was terrified for him to find out that my hair was a wig. So I would actually use glue, like straight up, not even like got to be spray like how I use on my wigs now. I would use straight up like hair extension glue on my scalp, and I would glue my lace fronts to my wig so that when we were sleeping it would stay on my head. And I remember one time when we were like fooling around, he was being all sexy and he like grabbed my hair and pulled, and I just remember my wig going like boop, boop, boop. You know, when you can feel it sliding across your head, and just dying inside and being so scared that he noticed. And I remember telling him like, don't do that. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't realize you didn't like that. And I was like, yeah, it's fine. Like, don't worry about it. Like, just don't do that. And so anyway, This went on for like months of me dating him and just being completely terrified that he would find out that I was wearing a wig and that he would like me less for it, which, you know, in hindsight now seems so silly, but when you are insecure about something like your hair, those things, you know, they can like really get to you. So then anyway, my wig started getting old and my hair had still not recovered and it was still super short. So I bought a new wig, but I got this wig in a little bit of a darker color. My first one was kind of a medium brown and I got a wig in like a chocolate brown, kind of like this. And I remember wearing it to his house for the first time. So I was already like ready for my explanation in my head, like how I went to the salon and got my hair done and like, do you like it? And so I was sitting on his front steps waiting for him to get home. And the first thing that he said to me when he saw me was like, "Oh, you look so nice. Is that a new wig?" And I swear to, I will never forget it because it like hit me like a ton of bricks. I remember sitting there and being like, "What do you mean? Is this a new wig?" And so I just was so embarrassed in that moment. Like I wanted to crawl into a hole and die. And I just told him like, "Yeah." Because like, what else do you say? "Yeah, it's a new wig." And he's like, "Oh, it looks really nice on you." And that literally was the end of that. And then after that, since I knew he knew it was a wig, I started doing things like when I was going to sleep at his house, I would just take it off because it's uncomfortable to sleep with a wig on. And I would just hang it in the bathroom and he didn't care. He was like, "Cool, whatever, like you do you." The reason I'm telling you this story is because so many people are so terrified to wear wigs because they are so worried that the person they like or someone that they're dating will find out it's a wig. But like honestly guys, most of the time they do know it's a wig anyway, for one. And for two, if you are dating someone who doesn't want to date you because you're wearing a wig, it's probably not the right person to date, because someone who is that narrow-minded, unaccepting, just basically biased towards how a woman should look or wants to look is not really the person, in my opinion, that you want to be dating. You want to date someone that loves you for you, that is all for your fake nails and your fake lashes and your hair extensions or not. You know, 90% of the time I look like this. And my husband just accepts me. He loves me with all the glam and he loves me without all of it. And when you're searching for someone and when you're younger, you have to find someone that loves you for all of it and loves you for none of it. And that is just what it is. And I always say, my hair, my rules, my body, my rules. You know, if I want to wear my hair short, then I wear my hair short. If I want to get a wig, then I get a wig. If I want highlights, I get freaking highlights. If I want to look like a mermaid stripper, I'm going to look like a mermaid stripper because it's my hair and it's my rules. So if you are dating someone and the thought of them not approving of you wearing a wig, and that's why you're not wearing a wig, and if you have alopecia and you are struggling with confidence issues and you're worried that people are gonna find out that you're wearing a wig, I just gotta say, fuck those people that actually care. Because if you're surrounding yourself with people that actually have their own lives, they are not gonna give two shits what you wear, what you don't wear, if it's a wig, if it's not a wig, they're literally not gonna care. All right, there you go. She is done and she is freaking fabulous. She has this sexy body wave, and I also added these face framing layers that you guys saw me do. She's hot. I'm gonna go and actually put my face on, change my outfit so that I'm worthy of wearing this wig, and then we're gonna see what the after looks like. I am back in all my glory. So my sister owes me so huge for this makeover because this was a lot of work. Although I really do think we nailed it. All right, I'm gonna show you how we put this on so that we can see the after. So what I'm gonna start with is using my wig fix. I did a whole video on the wig fix. It is awesome because it will keep your wig from slipping pretty much at all. If you're not into gluing your wig down, this is amazing. It won't keep the sides down, like around here, but it will keep the rest of it on your head, which is amazing. After getting my wig fix on, I'm just gonna put some foundation all over it so it blends in and looks like my scalp. Okay, let's try this out and see how it goes. Sorry, the audio in this room is a little echoey. I need to change the setup of my shooting room so that it's not as echoey, but right now, you guys are just gonna have to deal with it, okay? So my sister has a really cute little round face. So the way that I made this wig so that it would suit her is I added a lot of height in through here because we want to elongate her face. Now, I actually have quite a long face. I have an oblong face shape. So if I was making this wig for myself, I would actually flatten this out quite a bit so that my face doesn't look so long. But because it's for her and not for me, we're gonna leave it because we want to give her height so that it elongates her adorable little round face. And then of course we cannot forget to paint our lace. Painting our lace is gonna make it look a lot more realistic. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're really into wig transformation videos, then you definitely have to check out this one next. This one was a doozy. I'll see you in a few days. Bye.